everybody, and welcome to our Overly Bright Twitch channel. Now you're here with your toes in our somewhat tepid waters. I guess we better introduce ourselves. We're the Bloodthirsty Puppets. I'm Blood Puppet, and I am so out of my depth today, and I think it's down to these assholes here. Today we are playing Spiced. We are playing Survive or Thrive in our nuked setting, which post-apocalyptic. I'm gonna let everyone go around and introduce themselves, and then I might handle the recap. I'm not really sure yet. So let's start with the guy directly below me, which is Skag.
I'm not a tool. Don't be a tool and all that. And I'm Skageth. I'm really good. You can find me at Skageth. A really happy guy. John. I'm playing John. A really good guy.
Wow. Okay. Spanners, can you please? It's not difficult to top that.
I will give it a go. I am Spanners, and I am playing Lady Pip, a rather large lady, who is, I think, safe to say, driving John mad.
That's fair.
And yeah, without meaning to, but enjoying it nonetheless.
Yeah, these things happen, right? I mean, it's just a thing. Okay, next round is Terracon.
I'm Terracon, I'm playing Cameron.
Who's Cameron?
He's a guy that shot his own dad.
In the face.
Edgelord.
Yeah, alas, that's a true statement. And then finally around to the other puppet.
Hey, I'm Thirsty, and today I should be playing the wonderful and very important, highly intelligent, massively charismatic brother Rupert, the real heart, soul, and moral compass of the group.
So you're playing a 100% opposite to you character then?
Yeah.
Cold, sick burn. Okay, because the way you guys have just been like winding me up before we even started today, I'm going to make one of you do the recap, which is funny because I don't think anyone remembers what went on.
I do.
Oh, in that case, I hear a volunteer. Everyone hear a volunteer?
Yeah, Terracon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go on then, Terracon. Yep. Nail it. What happened last time on Survive or Thrive?
We just threatened some guards, gave them their, got their guns, and left the actual cave system.
That's I don't remember the threatening part, but sure. Yes, you did. Now I remember everything.
Picked one of them up.
Now I remember. Yes.
And the other one, John kind of put a barrel to his neck.
Whose head? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am vaguely remember you threatening my poor innocent NPCs before you left the dwelling.
And the funny thing is, I didn't actually watch the last episode. I just remembered this.
But that's good. That means that it stuck with you somehow. Excellent. Okay, so you guys are on your way out of this dwelling. You have been asked to take Cameron out because he shot his dad in the face. The rest of the dwelling didn't think that was a very good thing, so he's been asked to leave, but actually been asked to maybe potentially still help out one day, maybe come back by Rihanna, who is the head of one of the other sections, to help you guys, to help fix the computer core. And this will entail possibly having to go to Central Dwelling, which none of you know where the location is. You have also been given clues to go to another dwelling nearby called England Southeast, which is actually marked on your map with a giant kind of turquoisey colour. Circled ESE. There's supposed to be a link between your former dwelling and this one, but it has gone dark, so to speak. Nobody really knows why. You have returned the little girl, Olivia, back into the dwelling. Olivia was the daughter of Michael, who is one of your Rebels Against Dwelling contacts. You handed the little girl back over to the dude who's in charge, who just wants most of you dead. How that plays out, we're about to find out.
Not really. That's not really true. We handed it in the background. The douche were.
No, you definitely handed over this poor innocent little girl to someone who may or may not intend her harm. Lady Pip also happens to have some medication for John. Being told he has to take these once or twice a day, I think it was. Twice a day, I believe.
Yeah,
We have antibiotics once a day and morphia if he upsets me.
Excellent. I believe you have rations for like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember exactly how many.
2 weeks worth.
2 weeks worth. You have been given that. Other than that, the only other piece of information that you have been given by Michael is that he has a contact in a place called the Boneyard, and the contact is Ashley, who is a post-gen, and her handler, Ashbringer, who is a rotter. That is pretty much where we found you guys. When we left, you were literally walking out of the dwelling. You were walking out of the cave system near it, and the world rendered as you walked back into the world proper. And I guess that's where we're going to start. So, as you walk out after 4 weeks of rendering, the world looks pretty much as Lady Pip and as John remember it. It is dark outside. It's evening time. You can see that the sun is... It's pretty much at that point where it's on that very cusp, just disappearing behind the nearest hill. You can see that there is forest around here. For those of you who've never been out here, I don't know. It's entirely up to Cameron and Rupert if they've been out here recently, if they've been out here at all. There are trees and trees and trees for miles around. You find yourselves on the side of kind of a steep hill. And there is a pathway. There is a roadway. The road itself is broken up tarmac, as you would expect from, almost 100 years of neglect. There are clapped out and broken down cars, and you can see a bloody stain nearby, which 2 of you know is from the thing that attacked you on your way in. This is what you guys find yourself in. It's kind of cold because it's night. It's getting to that point. It's becoming quite chilly. What do you guys want to do?
I have no clue.
I'm guessing from what we encountered on the way in, we don't really want to be hanging around too much in the open if it's night. Do we want to find some shelter?
We just came from shelter.
Safer shelter.
What kind of daytime is it right now?
The sun is setting.
Did I just miss that? Or?
You absolutely missed that wonderful description of a sun setting behind the nearest hill.
Yeah, but it could be up or down, depending on if you're standing on your head or not. So, yeah. In your face.
And how tall the hill is.
Oh my god, the sun is setting, which traditionally means it's going down, signaling nighttime.
Yeah, but if you're upside down, it kind of looks like it's going the opposite way.
I don't care if you're upside down, Skag. The sun setting still brings on darkness. No amount of standing on your head will make it daylight in the night.
Why would you be upside down anyway? We just came out of a dwelling.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
maybe you're kind of dropping something on the floor and you'll be like looking down and almost turning your head upside down, and then you'll be like, oh, the sun is now setting.
You're beholding the sunset through your legs while bending down to pick something up.
Oh my god.
John is much more flexible than I thought he was.
Yeah, could be a thing.
I am really hesitant to add this out there because it's on my notes at the very top. Skag and Thirsty, you both have additional legendary points.
5!
But I have 2, so fuck you guys.
Oh, is this from when we did each other over?
I think so, yeah. No, this is I believe that's
From donations.
from donations, yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, that's not Skag. Yes. Lady Pip and I'm gonna say Brother Rupert. You two have extra legendary points, which Skag actually brought you.
yeah, I was about to say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's for you two. I'm so happy, Skag, you don't get one because I can't be dealing with you having one right now.
Oh.
But it's the new session, so he does have some.
Yeah, you get reset, but you don't get additional. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So we have to spend these extra ones in this session, don't we? Or they go.
Yes.
Nice.
Use them or lose them. I will not have them hanging around.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I basically have to use one like every 20 minutes for the next 2 hours.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Yes.
so will we know if there's anything worse out here? I'm assuming that we probably do because we came in from the outside.
Yes, I mean, you may know a little bit less about the outside world because you've mostly been ensconced into the post-gen army, but John for sure would know that there are a fuck ton more dangerous stuff out here than the rad doe that you guys took down.
Yeah, that's small fries.
Uh-huh. The real worries are the things like the things that attack in packs, like kill weasels, for example.
Yeah,
Which
they're
are-
really-
Origins.
And Ridgeons, yeah. There are a whole load of stuff out here that attacks in swarms. They are probably more dangerous than single creatures on their own.
Okay.
8 swarms.
No, so
Rat
John
girls.
will probably, after walking out of the dwelling and the whole incident that kind of transpired upon us leaving with the robbing them of 2 pistols, I think it was. They had
Yes.
some sort of handguns.
Mm-hmm.
And
Got a rifle as well.
yeah, something.
You have guns.
Yeah, we have guns, but
Barely.
yeah,
I'm looking at the stats of the pistol I got.
yeah.
I barely have a
I
gun.
give you the worst of them as well. Can I
Yeah,
just-
you gave me the
no
one that
ammo.
was. Yeah, you gave me the one that was literally a sack of shit.
yeah, like a pea shooter.
You know, it's
With one
basically
shot.
it's
Oh, wow.
it's essentially it's a blow dart with that breaks after you use it once.
Yeah, with 1 shot in it or
Yeah,
one
that's the
bullet.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that's the
essentially
one.
gave
I
me a
know it so
flintlock
well.
and no more flint balls.
And he probably looked at you with a little bit of you can
Fuck you,
Di-
buddy.
more this one you can handle. So take care of this one.
Alright, so what are you guys up to then?
No, as John is kind of looking back at the whole bit that kind of happened. He knows that it'll take probably a long time before they can actually return in any capacity. So he will probably just nod a little bit to himself and tell the others we probably need to make as much ground we can with the little light we have and find the shelters along the way but never stay too long.
Well, the sun's
So,
going
boy,
down.
where are we going then? Which way?
And he is probably pointing at one of the direction he knows is going southeast.
This should be terribly dangerous. Let's go.
That's why you get the small pistol.
Yes. Cameron, go on ahead. Look, get your first good look at the world.
I am not going first.
John is just starting to walk. It's like
There we go. There we go. I'll follow John.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll stay here by the tall, female-looking boy.
And I
Good
follow
looking
John.
girl.
I like it. With you guys following John's bold lead into the world, it's essentially is becoming darker and darker. The road itself is becoming broken up and quite difficult to see. The points where you're beginning to trip over small, kind of, even pretty large potholes actually that are formed in the road. Whoever is in the lead, which I assume to be John, could you make a perception check for me, please?
Perception, John.
Perception, please.
Let's see here. How about a 15?
Holy crap! How'd you get 15?
Yep, that's how we
What is
do
your
it.
perception, dude?
Mm-hmm.
If you're about to
Go
tell
for
me, if you're about to break down the numbers and say that you rolled a 12,
Well, that's what you need, right? A good number. I didn't want to kind of throw it in your face. I wanted to be like the first kind of roll gently in, like
the gently
steady,
rolling a
steady.
12. Like, oh yeah, I casually
Yeah,
rolled a
yeah.
crit.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
eases it in, just the
Yeah,
tip.
Just
kind of just letting everyone know how to. This is how we were supposed to do.
wow. Okay, so having casually just rolled a crit, I will casually give you some information.
So we assume John just like steps forward boldly, his eyes glow. casting like blinding light across the ground ahead of us.
Night
He goes,
vision.
I see everything.
No, he does not see everything. As you are like walking along this road, you become aware that there have been some large creatures that have moved in the area recently. But you also notice, because you have a pretty good eyesight right now, you also notice that there are people walking with them, and being who you are, being out in the world, you know there'd be some sort of traders, and they seem to be heading in the same direction as yourself. And fair enough, true to point, as you look a bit further down the road, probably a couple of minutes out, you see there is a small fire just off to one side in the kind of like wooded area that's that you guys passed through earlier. Other than that, you just hear the hooting of various night owls or night animals, the scurrying of little creatures and such like, and you spot that you spot Orion's belt because, hey, you crit, why not? There you go. It's now pretty dark.
So John will wait up so that everyone else comes and address them. Are we past those who made camp?
No, they're up ahead of you. They're probably just like 5 or 10 minutes ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if they spotted you. You're not that close.
Mm. But I saw that they were about to do fire, or they started.
They have already set up a camp, yeah.
Yeah. So as John sees everyone coming up, I believe that if they're doing a camp with fire and all, we could do a smaller camp just outside. If anything else, they would probably be getting the first hit, and we can let them be the decoys. That's how you live here.
Hey, I've never been out here, so whatever you says goes.
The boy seems to have a good plan.
Sure, old man. And he will walk and take probably a good overwatch or some sort of place where he can see them closely but still have some sort of surrounding that would give them cover.
There are, as I say, there are plenty of these kind of the trees out here. I mean, most of the trees have been stripped, most basically dead because of their various radiations, etc. But you could do things like you could hide behind cars, that sort of thing. There's definitely places that you could hide.
So John wants to make like a camp, but not really putting up stuff, but kind of getting everyone together, having a good view of the camp that actually has a fire. So if something happens, everyone in our group will see them and see what happens. And it's much easier to kind of look at a camp that has a fire than the opposite way.
Okay, I'm going to say probably the best place for you is to find cover kind of behind a car. Yeah, let's say there's like a pretty large family vehicle, one of those like soccer mum type ones. You can definitely like hide yourselves around there. I mean, with the various blown out windows, looking under the wheels, etc., etc. You can easily see the fire from where you are, and not give yourself away too much. I'm gonna let you roll that casual crit, as I'll casually give you that information. Yeah, you can set yourselves up there and be comfortable. I'm gonna ask the asshole question. How many supplies do you guys have? How much food do you have on you?
I think we took some before we left, didn't we?
Nope.
No,
How much?
I think we had a lot of alcohol.
You have a lot of booze.
Yeah, I've got 2 bottles of whiskey.
How much tack do you have on yourselves?
Oh, tack. I've got 14.
32.
I have like 3. So.
3.
How'd you have 32?
I might have been hoarding.
You might have stolen it.
Yeah.
So 1 tack equates to about one tack is enough calories for a single day. You don't want to eat it. It's really not nice, but it's there should you need it if you don't have any actual food or supplies on you. So, if you're making camp, mark off 1 portion of tack or food or whatever it is that you're carrying. And if you don't have any, you will have to beg, steal, borrow, or barter with your companions.
Yeah, that'll never happen. They are cheap as hell, those guys.
By the way, the other camp, do you actually want to say hello?
They are traders.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Instead of eating our tack, we could get some good food.
I would say we will give them a little bit of one night of look to see what they are all about.
They're traders. They trade. That's what they're about.
We don't really know that. They could pose as traders.
That is true.
Could
But-
we
Did I win that one?
hey, well, could we like hunt for anything?
You absolutely could hunt for things. John did hear the sounds of various animals moving around. Small ones, for sure. But it's possible to hunt for something.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
could
how people
probably.
feel about that.
Yeah, we could probably set up some sort of traps.
But again, we still need to eat our tack because traps won't happen like that.
Mm.
That'll take a while.
Well, are we grumpy this night?
He has just been kicked out of his home.
It would be fair to say he's had a shitty day.
But he shot his father.
Yeah, he shot his dad in the face, got imprisoned, and then kicked out of his house.
Fair
Come
enough.
on!
Fair enough. I'll give him that.
If you want to set up traps, then more possible. There's a chance that you'll catch something by morning, so at least you may have food tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility if you want to set some snares.
I still think we should say hello to the traders and say we're going to be camping close by.
Why don't we
My
send
one
the
in
boy?
charisma, I'm sending you.
Yes. Send the boy.
Yeah,
You can go and make introductions.
You can go and talk to them, and I'll go out and see if I can't fix some sort of traps, and we have something in the morning.
That would be good. Lady Pip, can you come with me?
About my protection.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I will come with you and beat them if they're not mean to you.
Not if they're just mean to me. If they shoot me, try and harm me, that's kind of
Well, surely I should beat them before they shoot you.
yes. But if you're faster than a speeding bullet, then good for you. But I'm pretty sure you're not.
She's pretty fast. I don't think she's that fast, though.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, alright. We'll deal with John first. You want to go set some traps? Some
Yeah,
sort of-
should I roll like craft or?
If that's what you want to roll, that's a legitimate thing to ask for. Do you...
Oh.
I'm going to assume you have
Okay.
little bits and pieces in your kit for doing this sort of thing. You have travelled
Yeah.
around a lot.
Otherwise, I was thinking of picking up. I mean, a small little bit of a branch or something, and constructing a smaller something.
I'm going to say you have things. We won't
Yeah.
specify which because then you can use them to fuck with me later. So we'll just say you have some things in which you can definitely make a couple of snares.
I'll say 10 points or roll the total for a crafting.
You managed to set one pretty good trap and one fairly shitty trap. one
I'll
is baited, the other is not. Let's put it like that.
I'll put my own name on the good one, and I'll put Rupert on the really shitty one.
You name your traps.
Yes, of course I do. Every good trapper names your traps. You kind of
Whoa.
really quickly know which one is sprung.
I would like to point to this moment, Thurston Terracon. Like, I have an obsession with naming my weapons. This dude is a whole nother level.
Naming traps is weird.
That's amazing. I'm impressed.
I have
okay.
pointedly not named my weapons this time.
Yeah. Okay, so we have John and Rupert, the two traps, which we will come and discover the fate of in the morning.
Yeah, we will really quickly know if you say the good trap, we know it's me. If the shitty one is broken, we kind of know it's Rupert. So
I know exactly how I'm going to make you roll this too. Okay, so we're going to go to Cameron and Lady Pip. You are making your way over to the other traders. Are you being subtle about it? Are you just like walking up like you don't give a fuck?
I am walking up with my hands not in my pockets or anywhere hidden, but not kind of up in the air either. Kind of, it's just sauntering up.
Just casually behind your head.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, motherfucker.
Walking up, just shouting out, "Good night, everyone! Hello?"
So I'm going to be walking up behind him. Just not obviously not being particularly stealthy. But I'm going to have, according to my notes, my small knives, just inside my coat.
Okay.
But with my hand on them, just in case.
I like it. Okay, we can roll with that. We can absolutely roll with that. I like it. Okay, you've just strolled up and announced good evening.
Yes.
Notice my stalling tactic for finding a pencil is absolutely failing right now. As you approach, you notice that there are 3 humans. One of them is a particularly older woman. The other 2 seem to be younger lads. You would hazard a guess, maybe the 3 are related. The 2 boys definitely are. They look very, very similar, except one has a scar, the other does not, across his face. And the woman they have something similar about the eyes. But that's kind of all that you really notice on approach. You notice that there are 2 particularly large creatures, a bit, as Lady Pip would kind of surmise, a bit like the kind of the raddos that you saw earlier, but these seem to be tamed. They seem to be harnessed, and they are carrying a lot of things on them, but you can't really tell exactly what kind of thing that they are transporting right now just by looking at them. And as you approach, the woman looks up. You hear the cocking of a shotgun as it's aimed in your general direction, and you hear, "What?"
We mean no harm. We mean no harm. We're just travellers on the road. Seeing that you're setting up camp, we were thinking about setting up camp nearby, if that's all right.
Well, I don't own this place.
Well,
Do what you want?
Okay. Are you traders, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, we've been known to trade a few things, and you see the 2 boys look at each other, and then look back at you.
Awesome. I was just, as we're setting up camp, just seeing if you had any food for trade at all.
Yeah, and you hear her uncock the shotgun and pull it down from aiming at your face. She's not let go of it, however. The 2 boys seem to be on edge. Yeah, we've been known to trade some food. What you got? Food's dangerous to come by, especially when it's not tack.
That is true. How would a bottle of whiskey sound?
You see the woman's eyes light up. Yeah, I could do something with a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Are we
What
talking
would you say?
whole bottle, pristine, partly opened, watered down? Are we talking moonshine?
Cucumber. It just says bottle of whiskies. I got it from inside Pete's place. I don't know if it's half full. What? I think we went to the top shelf, if I remember rightly.
Let's say it's a full bottle of whiskey, because that kind of... Why wouldn't it be? And let's say it would appear to be an unopened bottle of... Yeah, it's an bottle of Red Stag. Unopened bottle of Red Stag whiskey.
Yeah, I'll get it out of my pack and show her. It's an unopened bottle of Red Stag, vintage.
Cool, blimey, mate. You just want to trade that for some food?
Well, if you've got other stuff, if it's worth more, yeah.
Oh, no, I'll take food. Food is fine. If you want to take food for it, we'll give you some food for it. Quicker, Steve, Johnny, quick, get our guests some food. How many of you are there?
There's 4 of us.
There's 4 of
I've
you.
just seen. Yeah.
At this point, I'm just going to tap her gently on the shoulder. Sorry, dear. Just couldn't.
Oh, blimey,
help
you're a
but
giant, weren't you?
Yes. Just couldn't help overhear the whole conversation about, the whiskey being worth a little bit more than food. I'm just making sure that you're not maybe pulling the wool over this young lad's eyes.
Nah. If he
No?
wants food, we're more than happy to give him food for it.
Right, I think he might want a little bit more than that, dear.
I assume you're trying to go for an intimidate, aren't you?
I am.
Well, blow me down. Go for it.
Totally out of character. God.
Absolutely.
So
Let's
meta.
go for a 10.
A 10. Well, no, I think if the young man wants to have food for his whiskey, we can give him food for his whiskey. We'll make sure he gets enough food. Don't you worry, Petal. And she, like, taps your kind of hand level because you're fucking tall. Just like she would, like, tap your elbow. You're just, like, a little bit out of reach for this short older lady. Why don't you all sit down, come and share a meal with us?
I see. So we're going to share a meal with you for an entire bottle of whiskey. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll make sure you've got food to go off with in the morning, you know. We got
I see.
plenty to share.
Food and a little extra. I think that's probably...
It's more than fair. It's more than fair. Why don't you ask your companions to come over?
Well, they're just doing some other stuff. I can't remember what they're doing.
I think they're acquiring some breakfast.
Oh, they're setting traps. That's why. Okay. Yeah, they're just setting some traps, and they'll be back in a minute.
Oh, you make sure they don't need to be with any of our traps. That's how we get our trade, you know, sort of thing we do. Oh,
Okay.
come gather round, get your friends in. And
Okay.
you see the boys again share a glance, look at their, you would assume their mother, who just like, get on with it. And you see the boys go off to the packs and supplies, and you see them bringing out some more food, and you guys begin to smell the wonderful smell of cooking flesh. John. Actually, no, not John, the other one. Rupert. What are you up to, my man?
Well, while everyone else intrepidly ventured off into the Desolation and performed their array of tasks, I valiantly stayed here and looked after my pack. That's pretty much it. I just sort of sat in this large family car, making sure that nothing killed me, watching while these two ventured off into the dangerous place with the unknown people. Surrounded by a sort of
around and everyone was gone.
Yes, surrounded by at least a notional amount of security in the form of this rusted out metal bucket.
Okay. Completely missing the fact that everyone was just like, let's just get away from this dude. I love it. Okay. Are you joining the others? I assume that at some point they're going to gesture you over?
Oh yeah, I assume so.
Cool.
Could assume as much.
Well, to be fair, I'm watching these two going into this camp to see if, shit goes down. And if it does, I'll fight John.
Sure. Alright, John, what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm setting traps. John is a pretty good one, and
Take a perception check for me.
Rupert is a really bad one. Perception check.
Yes, please.
Let's see if the inbreeds are anything with my people here.
You can't just call them inbreeds. I mean, you have no evidence for such.
Well, I do now, so... How about a total of 11?
As you are setting John and as you are setting Rupert, you notice that there are some other traps out here. In fact, you almost like put your foot into one, and as you kind of look at it a bit more, and you kind of like have a look down on the ground, you kind of like find the edge of like some sort of very, very thin net. And as you kind of like shake it and lift it up a bit, you can see that at the bottom it's a very big pit trap. There are a couple of spikes in there, and you can see that it's definitely bloody. You're not sure for what kind of prey, but it's pretty big, and you're pretty sure there are, looking around, yeah, there's a variety of these different traps, and they are definitely all around where these people are camping.
Are they deep enough for a human to fall in?
You don't know, but you can make that jump in your mind if you want to.
And putting it into context, is it so that if a person would maybe walk over or close by would actually fall into it?
Well, if you hadn't been so perceptive, yes.
Oh, those cheeky bastards. Is there so that any of these traps have any prey in it or animals?
Are you gonna go hunt for some of the looking through some of these other traps? Because you've definitely found one, and you suspect you can see where some of the others are. You're gonna go check them out?
Yeah, I'm out here and doing jiddly all, so I set a perfect trap and a not so good one, so I can.
Okay. I'll let you roll. Yeah, I'm gonna let you roll one more perception on this.
Holy Jesus Christ!
Sorry.
9, as in 9. Yes.
You look around, you find a couple of more of these pit traps, and you find a couple of bear trap equivalents. The bear trap ones have been sprung, but the creature that obviously did it was obviously something fairly small. You find the remains of a rabbit in another. But you don't find any... the only other pit trap you find is also empty.
But there were a rabbit, or was it a rabbit that maybe sprung the...
It's a rabbit that sprung the big trap, that sprung the kind of bear trap. You can sort of see the remains in it. But that's about all that you find with your 9.
I'll curse them a little bit and I'll walk back.
As you make your way back, you find your 3 companions, your 2 companions and a friend. Probably 3 companions, who knows. You find them all happily tucking into this meat that's being served. There's some sort of stew. The boys seem to have got this on the go. You notice that the boys are continually exchanging glances, looking over each other, looking over at your companions, and giving you a nod as you walk in. And you can see the little old lady is just happily eating away, smiling and talking to the others as she has a bottle of whiskey sitting next to her. One you recognise from Michael and Helen's bar.
Yeah, that was easily passed, I guess. Yeah, so John will basically be a little bit of a douche and just nod and sit down on the kind of outside of the group a little bit, but still in the camp.
All right, John, do you want some meat?
Come on in, boy.
Yeah,
Sit
more
with
to go
us.
around.
We're telling stories around the fire.
It's lovely and warm by the fire.
Yes.
Yeah, but as close you get to the fire, the less you see of the surrounding.
I like that one. That was smart. Here. And she fills a bowl up, and she comes and sits next to you, and then passes the bowl over.
What does this? What does the meat look like?
Looks like meat.
White meat or dark meat?
I'm gonna say a mixture of both.
Chickeny?
Everything tastes chicken, so I mean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. I think I know where you're going with this. Take a perception check, but I'm gonna make the check kind of difficult because you're a post-gen. Post-gens begin to leave some of their peripherals, so go for it.
Oh well, I'm not gonna know jack shit. That's 5 with the bonus.
Oh wow. This tastes like it has the texture of meat. It's good stringy. Yeah, that's also tender. Oh, that's really good meat. That's really nice stuff, so far as you can tell. But you can't really tell what it is.
Okay. I'll carry on eating it then.
Yeah, I'm tucking in. I'm just arm rum. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that I probably
Well, I'm
don't
sure
know it better.
Rupert. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Rupert might have worried about that. He's incapable of tasting, and probably doesn't care over much about texture. So he's just going to eat the meat.
No, it is meat. It's not like
Yeah.
tofu. It is genuinely
Oh yeah,
meat.
yeah. It's just meat. As in, like, rather than like, I will eat this rabbit. It's just like meat, as in mystery meat.
It's,
Yeah,
nobody's asked.
it's just been called meat.
It's just-
Yeah, it's flesh.
Yeah.
Of some kind.
Not
Boiled
saying
flesh.
what. It's just some sort of meat.
Like them.
She
Oh,
hands the
it's-
bowl of meat over to John.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like yeah, you should you should eat up, keep your strength going. You're a smart
Yeah,
one. How about
that's why I ate before I came here.
you're passing away the chance to have free food in this world? You're insane.
I'm passing food that I don't know what it is in it.
It's just a bit of meat, a bit of thing we caught.
Wow, that's lovely for you.
Oh, you're not one of those weird will only eat things that don't have rad in the name, are you? Because there's a name for those sort of people.
That don't like eating.
Nah, it's just just a bit of rad dough that we caught on the way up here. A couple of kill weasels thrown in for good measure.
That sounds like some good eating.
Oh, it's excellent eating. You can really taste that kill weasel in there. Just that note in the back.
So, what's your trade like?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we wander around. We catch what we can. My boys are pretty good at traps and all the snares and all such good like. And I'll go around. I'll pick up the odd bits here and there. A couple of bits of meds, smuffing, drugs, and the other boys bit into the old mechanical stuff. Don't ask.
Mechanical stuff.
Yeah. You want to talk to mechanical stuff? You're going to want to talk to Steve.
Well, I'm more of the technical side than mechanical, but
Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot in common anyway. But yeah, you should eat up, John. I mean, I'll eat it with you. It's not a problem if you're that worried.
No, it's good. So the trades here are they hard to come by, or people willing to do trades?
Oh yeah, I mean we go place to place. We're currently on our way through to Waterville at the moment. About to head back up to Pete. Might head over to One Chest. Not really sure just yet.
Yeah, we're probably heading more to the south
Eastbound.
part than Waterville is, but never really been to Waterville. Is
Oh.
that a place you would recommend at all, or is it just filled with?
Oh, it's a good place to trade. Nice people there. Mostly about the fighting and the old fighting pits. That's how they make their food, shall we say? Yeah, nice enough place. Where are you heading south?
At this point, probably the port.
What you gonna Ghostport? Bloody brave.
Somewhere there. We have a lead. Probably there, or maybe even eastbound than that. We need some parts for a smaller machinery we're trying to build, but
No, maybe Steve's got some parts for you. Do you know?
Yeah,
do
well,
you know what you're looking after?
it's supposed to be something you will find in a refrigerator.
Something you find in a fridge. Something you find in a fridge. Oi, Steve! And you see the boy without the scar look up. Yeah, got anything fridge related? And you see like him just look completely confused. Just shake his head, and you say, "No, Ma, got nothing fridge related. We ain't had one of those in a while. Sorry."
I'm so sorry, really.
That's all right. No
Next
worries.
time. Next time.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about we all just come together and we make the watch a bit easier tonight. If we crew up together, rather than having two separate places like right next to each other, sort of thing. How about we work together? You guys come join us for the night. I mean, we owe you breakfast anyway for the whiskey. and we'll get some more food for you to go on with.
Yeah, if they want to, but I need more my darker sleep. I can't really handle the warmth, but I'm very happy that you gave a little bit of your hospitality.
Can't handle the warmth. You what? You just like sleeping out in the cold, even in this kind of place? You insane? You're just gonna freeze.
No, I don't really do that. It's really nice.
Yeah. Sure. She kind of like gives you like the look that she knows that's probably not quite the truth. And she looks at you very warily. Take a perception check for me, John.
God damn it. I've had a good run. Yeah, a total of 12.
You notice that despite the fact that they seem to be making a show of sharing food, they're not sharing it because they're not eating it. You also notice that she has been giving some glances over to her lads who just seem to be more focusing on the other three. The other three of you, I need you to make poison endurance saves for me. Alright, let's start with Cameron.
I got a crit.
Sure, of course you did. Lady Pip?
11.
And the skinless one?
10.
Okay, for those of you who rolled below a 12... Sorry. For those of you who rolled below a 12... I begin to feel like really tired, like really, really tired. Like you can barely keep your eyes open. Like that moment when you like trying to matchstick, hold your eyes open, like just do that. You are feeling super sleepy. Cameron, you feel tired. Maybe you suppress a yawn, but 0 fucks are given by you, motherfucker.
I'm used to working on them PCs all night.
It's like, yes, these drugs do nothing to me.
Oh, so it is actual drugs.
It is indeed.
Is this the point where I invoke extra crispy?
Which is what?
It takes double doses to affect me at all.
You can try.
I'm just saying, you know. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, I just sit there continuing to eat.
Yeah,
Someone's like,
you can definitely continue to eat.
No.
But there's a reason why this check was 12.
Oh,
and like meta-wise, they know what they're doing when it comes to post-gens and rotters.
Hi.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two do not feel great. What do you guys want to do now?
Am I allowed to vomit?
You...
It might help.
Medically?
Okay.
Okay, sure, I'll tell you what, because this is so funny, take a medic check for me.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my legendary points. One every 20 minutes.
Legendarily vomit.
I am going to legendarily vomit.
A legendary
but I'm going
attempt to get the poison off your
legendarily
system.
vomit on Steve.
Projectile vomiting across the campfire.
Okay, let's
Indeed.
go with that then. This is more a case as to whether you can clear the drugs from your system by vomiting versus anything else.
12.
Yes, you managed to make yourself sick. Yeah, you basically do what you need to, and you vomit all across Steve. You just get him like square in the chest, and you just see this vomit just like fall down his chest. You see pieces of undigested meat and all that good stuff that goes with it. It's pretty vile and full of bile. So, you guys have just seen Lady Pip vomit all over Steve. What do you guys want to do? Lady Pip, you are feeling slightly better.
And I've given them a warning.
Is it
disgusting?
is it just Pip that is looking really tainted?
Lady Pip looks like she just wanted to vomit and did. And you notice that before that, she and both Rupert were looking exceptionally tired. Like suddenly, bamf, they're tired. And the crispy one has his eyes mostly closed, just like kind of swaying from side to side as he's, I assume, going with it.
So
I don't imagine Rupert ever feels that great.
Probably not.
John will make it so that he will probably shoot her in the face. How about 16?
That's an exceptionally good roll, my man. I need to give her a chance of getting out of the way because I assume you're not subtle in this. You're not like, excuse me, 1 second. You just like.
Yeah, I'm looking for that millisecond where she's looking at Pip vomiting or anything where everything is kind of getting to surface what is actually happening.
Mm-hmm. As you've just put together all the pieces. Yes, you put the gun in her face, you pull the trigger as she kind of like looks across at Lady Pip, like momentary distraction of like, hey, what the bloody hell? And she turns into your gun as you fire. I'm never going to make you roll damage because you shot her in the head at point blank range. Let's go with that's as close to a coup de grace as you're going to get. And you guys just see like the back of her brain just blow out across into the darkness, into the trees. And you see the boys react. You see them go for their pistols. What is Cameron up to?
Well, as soon as I saw Pip throw up, I would get my gun and aim it at the boys. If they moved, I would have shot them. So as soon as John shot, they started moving. So
take an intimidation roll for me.
Intimidate.
Yep.
The gun is pretty big.
I don't care how big your gun is, it's how you use it, dude.
I rolled a crit.
Oh, for fuck mine. The two boys
Hold
just...
it down if you want. It's...
I trust you because I know you and you're rolling. Why do I even bother?
Two crits in a row, that's insane.
Yeah, you see the two boys like hold their hands up. Like they go for the gun, see you, and just slowly raise their hands.
I just look at them, it's like, hands behind your head, on your knees, cross your feet.
You see them very slowly do that. They both get down onto their knees, cross their ankles, hands behind their head.
Pip,
they look
Pip,
a bit...
can you go and get their guns? Pip?
Sorry, what?
Can you go and get their guns?
Yes, definitely. So do I want to pat them down? I definitely don't want to pat Steve down. I'm going to... I can't remember what the other one's name is. Cucumber, what's the other one called?
I think I named him Johnny. At least that's the name I've written down.
The only name we knew was Steve. That's it. We didn't know the other one's name.
So now it's Puke Guy and not Puke Guy.
Okay, so the one without vomit all over him, I'm going to pat him down. Having removed one gun. And just make sure that there's nothing else.
You find on their personage, you find 2 everyday pistols.
Okay.
And you find 1 better than everyday everyday knife. Hang on. You find a cleaned knife.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a pistol each. I'm definitely not throwing one to Rupert. He's asleep.
Yeah.
Rupert is out for the count, baby.
So I'm going to throw one to Cameron and one to John.
You guys now have everyday pistols.
And keep holding
I
the
already
knife.
had one, now I have 2.
And then, then wander up to the vomity one and see if he has a gun too.
Sorry, this comes off of both the boys.
This comes off of both of them. Okay, so they are both now unarmed. Excellent.
John, do you want to tie them up?
John will...
Hog tie them.
Yeah, that is certainly a thing, but no. Is there any sort of rope or anything that could be used? Is accessible, kind of surround here?
There are some useful nets on the pit traps.
Yep. I mean, there are things around that you can. I mean, they have animals which seem to be filled with some stuff. You don't quite know what's in there yet. But you can see some ropes about. You can see. Say there is also the pit trap next if you want them.
Yeah, we'll probably scavenge just enough to get something to tie them up with.
Absolutely,
And we'll make it so that they are tied up together and with their backs to each other so that they are joined up with their hands behind their back. And he will look at them. What kind of attire do they have?
They're just kind of wearing like very thick shirts. They're wearing thick trousers. They have kind of jackets on. One of them is wearing like one of those fisherman type jackets. Lots of pockets.
Okay. I'm going to make this a little easier for John.
Is that the one that's covered in
he's a
sick?
bit busy.
Yep, some little pockets full of sick.
I'm just going to kind of grab the tops of their heads and just like clack them together, just to try and knock the pair of them out. Then we can tie them up, and then they won't shout for help.
Take a strength check for me.
Just split open their heads.
Yeah, this might not go quite as I expected. Yeah, 11.
You definitely managed to knock the pair of them out. It's not difficult. You grab them by the upside of the heads and you smash them together, and they just seem to pass out almost instantly. They're still breathing. Good job.
That's good, yeah.
Is the fire still active?
Oh yeah.
So John will take forth his knife and snap it through their boots, put the boots in the fire, and then he will probably just go through and kind of assess what they do have as a
so you just took their boots off.
Yeah.
Take their boots off and set them
And threw them in the fire.
Out of pity vindictiveness.
Okay.
Okay, pity vindictiveness wins the day. As you take their boots off and set them on fire, going through their stuff, you find that they have not quite a full clip for each of the guns that they have. You can find that there is a lot of like snare making stuff. So you find a lot of half decent traps which haven't even been laid down yet. Smaller traps for sure, like smaller animals, etc., etc. Going through the stuff that's on these, like these two large animals, you find it's mostly filled with meats that have been partially cured, or meats that have been bundled up and wrapped in. You find a couple of pieces of electrical things, a couple of bits of mechanical cogs and wheels and the such like, but it does primarily mostly be bits of meat. And having a look through it, you find the odd human arm, leg, etc., etc. Amongst the rest of the animals.
At this point, I'm going to go to one side and throw up. Quite violently.
You may absolutely do that.
I did not know I was eating people. I didn't know people eat people out here. It's just disgusting.
You also find that there are some small vials of clearish liquid. They're not labelled. They don't have anything written on them. But you find a couple of different of these. So you say there's about 3 small vials about yay big.
Probably the poison or the thing that kind of knocked these guys out. So taking those vials and wrapping some sort of cloth around them, kind of swirling around so they don't connect, and then the cloth kind of just wrapping around it, putting them in the pocket. Is there any animal that John knows is the meat coming from the animal, or is it more so that there are animals that have been killed and waiting for?
You know what most of these animals are. You've seen quite a few of these animals yourself. There genuinely are some kill weasels here. There's a good batch of them. You find the tiny little rabbity type creatures. You find a couple of birds. Yeah, you find a couple of birds. Pretty small ones, but they are there. And obviously the human kind of animal. Yeah, that's pretty much what you find. The rest of the meat you would assume will come from creatures like those. Ones that have already been cut up and cured, or partially cured.
Yeah, I don't really trust their cured methods or what they do have in their buckets. So
it might be just good to take the meat that we know that's animal
exactly.
meat,
So
leave the rest, and burn it.
We're probably going to take the animals, weasels, rabbits, birds, or what haves. And John says that if I were to meet these and this would be the outcome, I would probably take these two guys and throw them in the ditch and burn the rest. But if you don't want to be more nicer to them, you could do that too.
Well, I don't want to be nice to them. I want to ask them
That's kind of
what they're going to do, where they're going, what is everything and everything. Just
well, I'm not really sure if I want to wait to the morning when they wake up or slap them up.
Well, we're going to take watch. Each one of us going to take watch over the night. So if we just keep them tied up for that night and then do it in the morning, because they're kind of knocked out now, I'm pretty sure we can't really wake them up. They were hit pretty hard. I'm quite surprised they're not bleeding.
Well, the bleeding can be on the inside too.
Yeah, I know that. That's the thing. But we can't really fix that out here, can we? But anyway, we've got 2 pack animals as well.
Yeah, we're not gonna let them have any of their stuff. That's for sure.
Oh no! All of the meat that's mysterious meat, we need to burn and just destroy. The pack animals are ours, even if we sell them at the first village that we come across. That's more of our stuff, and we have actual meat that's meat.
Yeah, I think you're right. If we're not sure what it is, I think we need to burn it.
Yeah. Because eating humans is just wrong.
Yeah.
That shit's not wrong.
Exactly.
If we're looking out into the woods, they had rather bigger traps, so safe to assume they were hunting people too.
Yeah. Do we want to fill in some of those traps?
Yeah, I'll probably go around and seek. There is often a pattern.
Well, if we wait until morning, we could ask them to fill them in. Save us doing the heavy lifting.
But that kind of takes it off my mind a little bit.
Yeah. Do we want to wait till morning and spend more time with them? Or do we want to just kind of abandon them?
Well, I still want to know why.
They probably want to live as much as the next person.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, yes, but there is better ways than eating people. That's the easy way to live.
Everyone has their own reasons.
Do we want to be involved with them, though? For longer than we need to?
They're not going to live tonight, or live for another night.
Their answer will be that they are probably used to eat and live this way. These are anyway one of the more nicer, better people you can meet out here. I mean, they actually gave you something before they tried to knock you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my vote would be we've already tied them up. We tie them to a tree. We leave them there. If someone finds them, good for them. Otherwise, well, let nature take its course.
Unfortunately, in my mind, that leaves loose ends. If we
Okay.
kill them, put in one of the dishes that they've dug themselves and fill it back in, no one can find them.
So
There's no
you're
loose ends.
suggesting pushing them into one of their own traps?
Oh no, we kill them beforehand. We're not animals like them.
Savages, jeez.
So how are you suggesting killing them that would be less painful than pushing them into their own traps?
Oh, you knock them out again, then you shoot them in the head.
But doesn't that waste, like, valuable ammo?
Okay, I can stab them in the head. How's that?
Well, how about we give them some of the poison that they gave us to try and send us to sleep, and then we push them in the traps, and they won't feel themselves being impaled on their own trap things.
If they're knocked out, that's going to do the exact same as the poison, but we could use the poison at a later date against other people that we need to get out.
Yeah. Why don't we just push them in the traps then and be done with it?
I still want to talk to them.
Or talk to them and then push them in.
Sounds
Or
good.
hold them
There you
over
go.
it.
At this point, for the sake of sanity, I'm gonna say that Rupert is beginning to come around.
Sorry, dude, we just left you sleeping.
Yeah, we have.
Bloody
Morning, dear.
you.
Gonna give a kick on the calf.
Is it morning?
Wake up.
Old
man.
Looks dark.
Yes, we got drugged. Or you got drugged.
Oh, well, I didn't know it was that sort of party.
We've been eating humans as well.
Oh,
Maybe ghouls.
I don't know what the fuck
Well,
a
that
ghoul is,
will
but I
never
know what a
stand.
rotter is.
Exactly.
Eating a bloody rotter. Can't have this. People get. I hope you killed those bastards.
Well, we've killed one of them, or John did. The other two are tied up. I want to talk to them beforehand.
Who's left? What the fuck happened to that one?
John happened to
Pointing
that
at the woman, like the faceless, headless, like thing. Jesus. God Almighty! What the hell happened to her? Who did that?
John.
Yeah.
John happened to that one.
Yes, whoopsie.
Something wrong with that boy. They shared their food openly with us. They even splashed for expensive drugs. What did he
Expensive drugs to kill us and then eat us.
do? Oh, well, that's
I just said this. They're cannibals.
plenty of good people are cannibals.
Oh my god.
Are you one?
Right.
No, but you know, partake of the body of Christ. They're just a little more literal. I'm not condoning it, but you know, at least they were on the right book.
From what John told us, they've made traps outside this camp to trap humans.
Oh,
They're hunting people.
that'll never do.
Exactly.
So,
That's not even neighborly.
what are you guys going to do with these two?
Well,
tied
I
up
wanted to
until
ask
morning.
them some
I
questions.
believe there's a certain commandment: "Thou shalt not kill." So I think we should club them on the head with something heavy, and if they happen to die,
Yeah, and
That's
there's
not our
also
fault.
another one, eye for an eye. So they try to kill us, and we will try to kill them.
that'll be the
Happen
code
to
of
be-
Hammurabi.
In between the two, we could club them on the head above their trap, so they fall in once they clubbed.
Oh,
if-
Two-
We didn't actually kill them. we trapped it.
cruel and
Trapped
ironic
it.
punishment.
Exactly.
How biblical of you.
Dying
much
on their own
work.
trap.
And then you guys hear, ow, as Steve, Vomit Boy, begins to wake up.
So we kind of need to make a bit of a decision here.
I bash him in the head with my crucifix.
How hard?
Holy justice.
Are you aiming
Is it
to kill?
just a gentle?
No, just thwacking a bloke in the head with a crucifix.
Are you
Yeah, but
aiming to
it's
try and
like-
knock him out?
I think I'm more hitting him, and what happens happens.
Then you just hit, ow! As you see
You
like a nice
vile
like,
child!
blood
How
pouring out
dare
of his
you.
head.
Okay,
Ow.
Reaper, I think that's enough.
Ah.
I'm going to kneel down in front of him and just look at him in the eyes. And it's like, so, what was your plan to do with us?
He looks over at his dead mother. Back at you.
Mommy won't
Tears,
save you this time.
tears in his eyes. He's like, she wanted us to kill you, turn you into our next meal.
Was it as simple as that, dear? Oh. I suppose the next bit's quite simple then.
Yeah. I
What
take my
did
knife
you
and
want to
stab him.
do?
Do you want to stab them or do you want to put them into their trap?
No, I stabbed him.
Oh, you stabbed him.
Oh,
You're
I
God.
stabbed him.
All right, you
Just
stab him
slowly looking at him, smiling.
slowly.
Yeah,
As you
slowly.
just hear this guy scream out as it echoes into this kind of foresty area. As you hear this guy scream, his little brother wakes up next to him and starts screaming because you stabbing his brother and killed his mother. You basically.
I will
his
shoot
scream.
the brother in the head when he kind of wakes up.
Needless to say, you do make a lot of racket killing these two boys. Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. D-E-A-D. Dead.
Okay, so to save some kind of face? No, that's not the word. So save something. I'm going to pick them up because they're tied together. So I'm just going to kind of use the rope as like a handle.
You're going to pick them up like a brace of rabbits.
Yeah.
I'm going to stride towards one of their traps and just kind of hurl them in.
Okay.
Don't
yeah.
forget, we need the rope.
There is plenty of rope around. You could probably spare. To
Okay.
lose this.
You can have more rope. This one's covered in blood.
Yes, this one's covered in blood.
People will ask if we have rope. with
It's
blood
covered in
on.
blood and the stain of your murder. So throw the
They're
boys.
pretty bad at us, so I'll
Soil.
try.
You throw the boys into the trap, and you hear that nice squelchy sound as sharpened sticks and stuff penetrate the body. Good times.
Okay, and yeah, I'm going to kind of kick some soil in there.
Now
and
you
try
are kind of out of
That's
camp.
really great.
I want you to make a perception check.
Sorry, who? Me? Okay.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, everything seems fine.
I'm going to drag the mother's body out and throw it in the same pit, and then
yeah.
leave one of my little lolly stick grave markers there.
You can also make a perception check.
No, I can't. Let's be honest.
You have how many legendary points do you have? Because you're about to lose them if you don't use them.
Yeah, I know, but it just doesn't seem right. Him being able to see things in the dark. It's a 10,
It's a 10.
so it's not bad.
You hear the sound of lots of tiny little feet moving through the undergrowth. They're a little distance off, but they seem to be coming in your direction.
Pip, I don't want to alarm you, but
Yes, dear.
run.
Just a second.
Run. Okay, and I grab Rupert by the scruff of his neck and just run as fast as my rather large legs will carry me.
You guys become aware of this very tall, elegant-looking-ish post-gen grabbing this rotter by the scruff of his neck and taking a run through the camp.
Yeah, meanwhile, they were out doing some nice camping activities in the bleak of the night.
I'll have you guys burying your murder victims.
Yeah. That's all cute and
You
stuff.
know.
So I believe that John and Cameron probably took what they thought would be interesting and just threw the rest on the fire and started to move, kind of deal. So maybe when they are coming back, we are about to get moving, or
Yeah, that's
about
fine.
to.
I'm going to say that you found 20 rations of things that you could actually eat versus things you couldn't. Like, you found 20 rations of food, be them kill weasels or be them some sort of like rad bunny or something like that, or some sort of origin. You find about 20 worth of rations of a mixture of that kind of animal you know for sure is not human or tainted.
Okay, John, if you
Icky
hold
eaters.
10 of them, I'll hold the other 10.
Sure.
I need to cross off one of my lolly sticks.
As you guys like divvy out these things and you put the last like ridgeon into your bag, you hear rather than see Lady Pip arrive.
Lovely, it's time to go. As
Oh,
I
God.
hurtle
Yeah.
downwards.
So we arrive back to the campsite, back to the fire I was going to propose we use as a refuge, and it's full of roasting meat.
Yeah.
You idiots!
What?
You burned the meat!
No, the
Burn
human,
the human
meat.
flesh.
Yes, dude.
Well, we're not staying here anyway tonight. We're moving on. We
Why?
can't stay here now because we just made loads of noise.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a duh.
I
And us
want
leaving will make less. With pack animals?
Oh, we're not taking the animals. They're. If anything's following, they're for them.
I would like actually no, the three of you, if you can now also hear the sound of many small feet heading in your direction. There's a lot of them.
Okay, let's start running. I'm going to start running away from the sound.
I'm going to climb atop one of the pack animals and attempt to ride it.
Oh wow.
Well,
I
now that
need
it has
you
no
to
pack
make-
on it.
It
Mm.
has no pack on it. I need you to make a charisma check for me.
Ooh. Rupert, go.
What are you doing to that poor animal?
Oh,
Animals. Get your minds out of the gutter.
well, hello there, Radar.
Now, if there is ever a point to use your legendary point, it's this one.
Yep, here it is. I rolled a 1. There we are, that's better. 12.
You try and climb up on top of this animal. Congratulations, you are definitely sitting on top of this rado.
Hello there, Rado.
Doesn't.
Why, hello, Radar.
Okay, please stop trying to deduce the animal that I'm about to play.
You try and do Rupert's voice and try and speak like quietly and calmly for an animal to try and like keep it like
Own
from panicking.
goddamn problem.
Like, why, hello there. You should really try and be calm. Don't worry. I won't bite.
You're sitting
Oh.
on this animal. Well done, but it doesn't seem to be moving.
Mm.
There's no like real thing for you to sit in. There's no saddle. It's just you barebacking on you animal. You're just barebacking on this deer. There's nothing to control.
I was going to sit upon like the empty pack, but yeah, okay.
No, they're taking all that crap down. It's empty.
Okay.
Are you okay with those spanners?
I think we lost spanners.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap my arms around this animal's like neck and kick it hard in the ass.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to
I don't
make.
care which direction it runs, but it's probably going to run away from the thousands of things that way, and possibly faster than me.
Okay, I'm gonna want you to make a strength check to hold on as you kick this animal.
Come on.
God damn
Number 1.
It's not like he's a seasoned equestrian or anything.
it. That's the point.
Well, I'm going to reroll that too. It's a 10 because he's a weedy little prick.
You lay yourself down on top of this animal, wrapping your arms around its neck, kicking it in the ass because it's the only way that you could do it in this particular maneuver. The deer goes off at high speed, and you hold on for a bit. You hold on for a good, and then it takes a sudden sharp turn, and you just fly off and hit the ground hard. You guys
Ooh.
can see where
Does the crucifix like slamming through it past its neck hurt it?
No, I'm
So I
gonna
have a large
say
metal
no.
crucifix fused to one of my
I
hands.
think this poor creature has suffered enough from you. I'm not also going to club it with your arm.
I was attempting to ensure its survival, thank you.
Of course you were. You're attempting your own survival. As you fly off into the darkness and land on the ground, you guys can see the rough direction in which this creature took off with him on board. You know roughly where it is. But you can definitely hear these creatures coming, and if any of you look behind, you can see this small, dark mass, probably no more than like a foot or a foot and a half in height, heading towards you, but it is masses of them.
What about the
There
pack
goes
animals or the
those.
traps?
They're still coming.
So, are we ahead of Rupert, or is he likely to just kind of get eaten if we don't go back and save him?
Let's say Rupert has gone in the right direction. But the rad deer has kind of like veered off to one side. The other creature is staring uncomfortably as it's kind of looking around and seeing these small creatures running towards it, and you can see it's beginning to. I don't think I like this, and you can see it begin to like trot off in a similar direction.
Can I make like a small connection over at camera and point towards Rupert?
I'm gonna hold my hand up
Yeah,
for a high five.
that's a high five.
Oh, holy shit, you two!
If only.
In the face of imminent danger, you're like, what an idiot! And high five.
Yeah, totally.
I'm giving you both legendary points for that because that's fucking stupid.
I should really use my legendary points.
Yeah, it's coming
Use
up now.
them or lose them.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, I should have just burned a bundle to make the Rado accept me.
You should have
But,
done, but it's too late. You can't
Yeah.
force. I don't care how
Oh,
many
screw
legendary
that.
points
No,
you
I'm never-
can't
never
force
going
love
to.
on a creature. All right, I'm gonna draw the line there.
I wasn't going to force love. I was going to force, amicable survival.
Well, snooze you lose, bro. So the three of you who are still in camp, these creatures are making their way. John, who's been out in the world, you recognise these to be something called kill weasels. On their own, they tend to be okay. You can definitely kick them, set them on fire, and break their necks. As a swarm, however, they are unpleasant. The bite of the kill weasel is actually slightly poisonous and will definitely make you sluggish for days. Multiple bites will probably kill you. They're also not opposed to stripping flesh like piranhas.
Yeah, we are running. We're not standing around to make a conversation here. So yeah.
Yeah, we started
Yes, you
running
do.
before he got onto the pack animal.
You
Nope,
stopped
wait.
to high five one another.
No.
We didn't say we
In
stopped.
The
High
process
five while
of
we're
running.
moving.
Yeah,
We're running next to each other.
yeah. Have you ever heard of drive-by high five? That's the one time we're doing it. It's tag team high fiving in motion.
Wow. Okay. In that case, I want the three of you to make endurance checks. Endurance physical for the running. Are any of you stopping to pick up the crispy one, or are you going to leave him to his own fate?
No, he's on his own.
They're clearly not,
That's what I
so I'm just going
guessed.
to pick him up by his leg.
Okay. In that case, your check will be slightly harder, Pip. But go for it.
I am
So
going to
sorry,
use one of my
which one
legendary
again?
points.
Good point. Physical endurance.
Physical.
I got a crit, but it is
So did
slightly
I.
wonky.
Reroll then. But you got a crit. You
I got a
run-
crit.
Oh, fuck mine. What about you, John? Do you know what? Fuck this. Like, as you three of you run off high-fiving each other, looking like badasses as these kill weasels basically descend on the nearest Raddo, you guys run into the darkness. Lady Pip, as you run, you basically grab Brother Rupert by an ankle as he's sort of like beginning to come. Like, what the bloody hell was that? And you basically just feel her grab your ankle, and she just pulls you along the ground like this is nothing. Just striding and running as you get pulled through, like you feel like the scratches of the various branches on your back because fuck you and karma. As the three of you just bolt your way into the distance, and you hear these unfortunate rad deers are screaming as they are taken apart by kill weasels designed to eat you. You guys run for a good solid 20-30 minutes, and the sound of pursuit is definitely no longer there, and that's where we're gonna take a
Oh, okay.
horrific,
I was gonna
much
say,
needed
for that-
10-minute break.
For that, can I burn 2 legendary points to just manage to hook my crucifix onto the back of Pip's pack and pull myself up? So I'm not actually being fag dragged for a half hour.
I'll
That would
tell
be
you
so
what.
funny.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you burn the 2, and then you can just basically ride her Yoda.
Yeah. I just don't want to be dragged along like this hideous ragged piece of flesh.
Okay. All right. Burn burn your legendary points out then. Thank fuck for
Cool.
that. And I need a much needed 10-minute break, so we're gonna go take one. So we will be back soon. And we're back. Awesome sauce. Okay, so after a very interesting conversation about bunnies and dogs on this side of the table, we go back into the world where you guys have run for about 20 minutes. One of you kind of like Yoda backpacking styling. You're definitely clear of pursuit. It's actually pretty dark now, and I'm gonna need whoever wants to take the lead to take a perception check.
I'll take that one. And I'll take that legendary point. Yeah, a total of 11.
11.
Yeah.
Up ahead, you see that the road. You see the road kind of like splits off into what looks like you would assume some sort of housing estate off to one side. It's fairly run down, but you're not being followed, you're not being pursued, but it is really, really dark now.
So did you say about the housing?
Yep, little housing estate off to one side. Let's say on the left-hand side, because we always go left.
So nothing more to it. There's no light. There's no movement. No smoke. No.
Not with your on 11, no.
Yeah. So he waits up to the rest and kind of keep his eyes looking back, looking for anything that moves beyond their own point, and realizes it's kind of in the clear, taking a couple of seconds just to catch the breath, and nods towards Cameron and kind of smiles knowingly that they did a really, really good high five.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna write something for that. Carry on.
The GM remembers that. Okay, so telling telling you guys the house up ahead. I don't really see much from here, but that doesn't really mean much. We could, if we take it a little bit slow approach to it, maybe check it out. And I mean, it's a good spot to be in.
That sounds good. You lead the way, man.
And he will more slowly now, but with the I think he will use the pistol he has been using on the kids back there. It's good to point out it was the kids.
Phrasing.
So
He's gonna pistol whip some more kids.
yeah, will walk slowly up and keep a fairly low, like almost crouching, and probably picking up a smaller pace, but not really running. If anything, will try to aim. It will be a little bit harder, at least, if there is like an open window or something like that. Okay. So he will kind of dodge back and forth a little bit and try to get to one of the corners of the house and start from that corner, and then kind of fan around it and check it out. That's his plan, and that is what he will do.
All right. The estate I imagined is just now a house, which is cool. This house is pretty large. As you kind of like run your way over there, you feel the crunch of what is gravel covered in like a thin layer of kind of like mossy type material. You can feel it crunching under your feet, but you kind of dodge off to one side and feel the edge of where the grass itself should be. As you make your way, you realize you have to cross some of this gravel, and being very careful, you make your way to the edge. I need you to roll 2 checks for me. One, I need you to roll a sneak, and then I need you to roll a perception for me. Actually, you can roll a knowledge for me.
So knowledge, sneak, perception.
Just knowledge and sneak.
Knowledge and sneak.
Yep.
Okay. So +3. Yeah. That'll be 10 on knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. 2 I really want to. F at 8 on the sneak.
As you guys are kind of waiting at the entrance to this, you see him make his way up along the, this kind of like long driveway. You hear crunch, 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 and then you hear him walk onto the grass. It's like, yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. And then you hear crunch, crunch, crunch as he makes his way over to the house. You hear like the kicking of a pottery plant, and you hear a slight. That's like almost a smash, but he manages to catch it just before it actually breaks. And yeah, this is what you guys see as he's sneaking his way over there. You make your way to the edge of the house, and as you wander around, you realise there have definitely been people here. There have been people here. At the moment, you can't really tell if they're actually if they're people actually residing within the house, but there are definitely telltale traps set up. There are, for example, the pot plants that you kind of kicked over. You can see there are some cans attached to some strings are sort of like lining some of the doorways. And you can see the telltale tales of like some little kind of like traps, so to speak, just like warning triggers, sorry, rather than traps. Various warnings that have been around some of these windows and some of these doors. You're clever enough to bypass them and dodge them, but they are fresh. Whether they are still in residence, you can't tell. But these have been done recently.
How many entry points are there?
There are 3 doors. There's 2. There's one at the back, one at one side, and there's the front. The front is obviously more elaborate. The the back and the side are a little bit less extravagant, more like servants' quarters, for example.
And
there are a fuck ton of windows.
And the thing they see, where the rest of them are, do they see the main entrance and the side, or
just that they can only see the main entrance from where they are? All these windows have been boarded up because the glass was smashed.
So John will make like a hand signal to Pip and make like a pointing gesture towards those doors, and slowly now just walk around to the back entrance.
Lady Pip, are you going to investigate the front, or are you going to hang back with the other 2 non-combatants?
I am going to gently put Brother Rupert down. I don't think he wants to come with us. And make my way to the entrance that John just pointed to. I'm going to attempt to sneak.
You can definitely do that.
I got a 10.
You are surprisingly way more sneaky than John. Maybe it's because you've seen where he messed up. I don't know, but you managed to make your way to the front doors without too much problem. I mean, the crunching of the gravel is something you can't avoid because of your height and your the fact that you are just bigger and bulkier than most people. You crunch, but maybe someone didn't hear you. That's your kind of assumption. You think you did okay. You've definitely made your way to the front. John, at the back, you find that the door it's what looks like probably the original door, but it is definitely locked, and there is definitely a kind of like warning trap across this.
Can you, with his knowledge, grasp the alarm and snap it?
Fuck it, yes. Why not? Yes.
So catching whatever will set it off, plates or anything, and cutting the wire or rope, and he will probably sink down to a very low position to just peer into.
Okay. As you peer in, you can see that you are looking into what looks like a pretty big kitchen, a state kitchen. So there's a couple of places to cook. There are tables in here. The tables have been pushed back against the sides, and there's kind of more of an open area in the center where you can see that a makeshift fire has been made. There is no fire in it currently, but you can just tell the remains of that. You can see that there is 2 entrances, one in and one out of the kitchen. They are quite close together. That's all that you really see in there. take a perception check for me. And Lady Pip, what are you up to?
So I'm going to see if I can go sort of like the opposite way to jump, so we can cover as much ground as possible. I'm going to look for any sign of people that have actually lived here. So just to kind of gauge whether we're going to be greeted by someone asking why we're in their house.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to want you to take a knowledge check as well. John, what did you get?
Perception, a 1 and a 2.
A 12.
Yeah, it looks, goddammit. Looks like this.
Fuck's sake, man. You, from where you are, you basically just do that kind of like warm, and suddenly all your senses get overloaded. Lady Pip, what did you get on knowledge so I can tell you what you see too?
6.
Okay, I'll tell you what you can see when I come across it. You can hear the sound of heavy breathing, as if there's a bunch of people asleep. You can also hear the sound of at least 2 people walking around within there. You can also tell that there are more people upstairs, but you can't get a proper read on how many because, you know, you're just standing at the back door. Yeah. You can probably hear at least maybe 8 people asleep. You can hear at least 3 people walking about. The amount of people on the top floor, somewhere between 5 and 10. Lady Pip, you think you saw someone move inside. Just like that kind of like shadow against one of the boards. But you can't be 100% sure.
Okay, so because I'm not sure, I'm going to try and communicate with John by using our Morse code that we were communicating with.
To do that, you're going to need to be able to either see each other or get really close.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're going to let the entire house know. I'm just throwing that one. Yeah. But yeah, you can sneak around to where he is and you can communicate in your kind of like... You can just like tap against the wall and that'll be enough to know that without making a sound that you're communicating. So yes, you can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to sneak around to where he is and just tap out just a people ?
If you're running around to where I'm at, I'm just by the door, so...
She's trying to communicate silently with you.
Silently, without saying anything.
Yeah, but she's with me now. Yeah. So he will probably communicate back that there are people moving and there are a lot of people on the upper stairs. Best would just be to either camp, leave, and communicate later, or more with a open question now.
So we sensibly are going to
Yeah, what did he say?
I think suggesting we throw fire at them. I'm not sure. I think he's milking a cow.
What's worse, game of charades?
I don't know if we want to live. We need to probably not disturb these people. Do you think we can communicate with them without upsetting them? Probably not sending Rupert in. Is there any indication that these are friendly people that we could maybe trade
They
with?
are probably taking care of them more, just due to the fact that they set up traps, so they are I'm thinking they do have families or something upstairs.
Okay, so we don't want to upset these people because they're going to come charging down, trying to protect their family.
They're probably moving around, trying to patrol, observe.
So if we've been making crunchy gravel sounds, they probably already know we're here.
They are maybe aware of things moving, but not really sure if they're aware of us. I mean, if they were, they would probably stand still, but they haven't been moving.
But if there's more of them and they know how many we are, or they can at least guess how many people they've heard, then they
we could be
outnumber us.
Yeah, we could just be a scout party.
You hear the sound of the pair of you. You hear the sound of one of those moving footsteps making their way towards the kitchen.
Yeah. How would John say? Would it be of a adult or lighter?
Definitely an adult. A pretty hefty kind of adult.
Hefty as in post-gen or hefty as in human?
Difficult to tell, to be honest. Some humans, most humans, most rotters in this world are kind of thin because food is still kind of scarce. But that doesn't mean there aren't some well-built humans out there.
But it's not Pip, though.
It's not a Pip, let's be honest. No, you can't tell for sure, but they are definitely on the heftier side of life.
Mm-hmm. And John will probably signal to Pip to be on guard, and John will voice out that the door was open.
The door was open.
You hear the sound of shouting inside. You see a couple of lights being lit, especially on this ground floor. You hear the sounds of lots of people suddenly getting up and moving around, and you see the door wrenched open. And you see a particularly large post-gen, whether he's second or third generation, you can't 100% tell, but pretty fucking big. The kind of big that means that they can't exactly see out the door without ducking. You can see that they are holding a very large cricket bat covered in a variety of nails and some razor wire. You can also see that, you know, they have a very crudely crafted sort of knuckle duster of sorts. And you can see he is not the only one similarly attired. Within this room now, you can see that there is at least one other well-armored person. They are human. They are covered in some sort of, John would recognize some sort of military grade armor on their chest, and you can see that they have an equally vicious looking melee bat. You can also hear and see movement coming from the other side of this kitchen as the door opens and closes. You can see a bunch of people laying together, huddled together in bed, wearing rags and robes in comparison to the two people that you've just seen carrying these rather wonderful melee weapons. You can see that there is a human male who is moving amongst these people who are huddled together, wearing not a whole lot, carrying some sort of rifle and aiming it at them, and you can just hear him just say, "Shut up! Don't move! Don't even fucking think about it!" And then you see a couple of other people. You hear them running down the stairs and heading towards you, and you can see that you can hear that they're all communicating as if they're a well-oiled machine. And you see this very large one looking at you.
Yeah. John will have his weapon at the ready, not really aiming per se, but it will be up. So it won't be like, they're kind of just overthrowing whatever the group of us. So he's waiting for anyone who will speak for them.
You see this large post-gen just kind of like kneel down a little bit, kind of like bend its knees a little bit so it can kind of like see out the door. And you hear it says like, "What are you doing here?"
We are a small scout party of a greater team. We have found a greater group that tried to take travelers down and kill them.
"I like killing." He nods very matter-of-factly.
Yeah, John just nods with him.
I'm going to lean in at that point. Do you like eating humans too?
You see him shake his head, and then you see him look back at the human wearing armor, and you just see them nod, and then just turns back to you. "No, definitely no."
No, they liked eating them too. We're here. We got rid of them so they wouldn't eat any more people.
Uh-huh.
And then we saw that your door was without any preparations due to the fact these were cut. And he holds up the thing that he himself cut loose. And the door was almost open.
I'm gonna need you to make a manipulate charisma for me, because that's somewhat of a lie.
No, it's a complete lie.
No. It's yes, it is.
Oh. So if I can I use the legendary point as just a bonus plus?
+2.
I
Currently, it's
can do
just
that
+2,
afterwards.
but we'll fiddle about.
Right.
No, you have to do it before. It's
You can
either
do
a
it
reroll
afterwards.
or a +2. You have the choice.
Yeah, I think this is the time to use it. So let's do it. Well, that's 14 though. No, it's good. It's good.
You see the human wearing the armor, equally evil-looking bat, walking towards you, and puts its hand out. Hand it over. What do you mean this was already cut?
Yeah, John will give him the trap they set up for sound.
You said there are some fuckwits eating people up the road.
He just nods back.
Ugh. Savages.
But we
Well-
are on the move, so we're not here to do any harm. We just want to inform and make sure that anyone who is here with good intent actually, take care of each other.
So you two are moving on? Just the two of you?
No, we are a little bit more of a band, but we're not going to be around here for anything more than this night. So we'll probably take a camp a little bit more up, and seeing it was open, we'll probably just want to know if you have heard anything, if the lands are better in that or that forest.
If you want somewhere safe, he points over past kind of like the wall around this estate. You can see there's actually another kind of like gate in the edge of this wall. There's a garage of sorts you can probably get yourself settled into. Probably safest thing around here at this time of night.
I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Like I said, the circumstances made it so that I just wanted to see that everything was okay and you were not attacked or leaving an opening.
You see him tip his head to the side, and he seems to be assessing you very sternly up and down, and then he gives the same intense look once over to the Lady Pip. How many of you in your band you say there were? 5, 6?
Just about right now. We're trying to get back to the rest of the group, but they're far in the front due east. So
Yes, we will have a plan. And I give John the look. We have a plan that we're all following. We're sort of like almost like a scout party who are clearing the way, should we say, so that the rest can follow us. And we have a map, and we're rather following a trail, really. But yes, there may well be more following us very shortly.
Make a manipulate charisma for me.
Bloody hell.
I believe that may also be termed a complete and utter lie.
Yeah, 8. Doesn't like.
Scout party for who? Maybe working on the same team.
The same team of...
You first.
No, you were asking about what kind of team.
Yeah. I was asking who you're scouting for. What crew are you running with?
A very small one, trying just to survive from place to place, traveler.
Small. How small?
Not that small, dear.
Well, everything is up to 1. I would say roughly about 10 more is small, but... Anywho.
Yeah, who? Yeah. You know, maybe we're working something similar.
Yeah, that's good. As we're not here to try to interfere or do anything, we're just wanting to see what you know about the area and nothing more. We're not asking to see what you have inside, what you have for anything. We just want to know what is out there.
What's out there is dangerous and nasty, but you can stay in the garage. We'll make sure no one... Well, thank you for killing the fuckwits who kill and eat people. Consider that as far as we're willing to go.
And if you are ever traveling further away from this place, beware of the forest parts, roughly a day out due west. They prepped it so that a lot of traps were set.
Good to know. Information is costly, thank you. We'll make sure to stay safe for your scouts. For the evening, at least.
Yeah, we will probably just need it for getting some legs rested. Nothing more. We have our own everything, so...
Well, we've got our own everything too, just... try not to interfere.
Like I said, didn't plan to.
Fair enough. Well, good night to you both. And with
And
that...
John can not.
Yeah. With that, he closes the door and you just hear the big guy like, so we're not killing them? And you just hit, no, we're not killing them. And you hear them stomp back into the main room. What do you guys want to do now?
We'll make a greater circle back to the other two.
Yeah, I think we need to go and get them.
What did you find? Stage whisper. So what did you find?
Whisper.
Yeah.
What the bloody hell took you so long?
Well,
Where have you been?
they were quite a lot of people, and we kind of delivered the contradiction all around, but
So should we not
Be
stay
they
here? and
good
continue
people
going?
of Christian faith?
I
No.
don't think they were very nice.
no. But they are probably far more than we can handle. Probably set so that it's at least a couple of them with good gear. So I believe they are extending a hand for us to sleep at a garage that is pretty close.
Do you trust them?
No, not particularly. I trust more to make a small camp outside. Inside a cramped garage, it's easy to just overpower us, I think.
I think, if I'm honest, I'd rather trust those weird little ratty things than those men in there.
Well, should we just continue walking then?
It's getting
I know it's late, but
It is super dark.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's cold, I want to go to fucking sleep. Where's this bloody garage?
But I think you might end up going to fucking sleep for a long time than you thought, dear.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, how was the food?
You know, lumpy, you had a flavor, I suppose.
And then you didn't remember much, right?
Well, yeah, we all have our little foibles. They ate flesh. Oh well.
Yeah, so did you. So
Well.
I think that we should take a small camp, just you and a point like is there any forest around here?
You've kind of come out of the forested area. I mean, there is like the odd like burnt tree still around, but that's few and far between.
So there's like 15 people in this house that we've told them we're here. You know, if we set a fire or even make any noise in the morning, there's still 15 people who know exactly where we are who can empower us, no matter where we stop. We might as well
But
stop.
still, if we're in the garage, they will have us cornered in. We can't really do much then.
Well, if it's like the garage on a big estate, it should probably have a door at the back.
Not necessarily. It could be basically a shoebox with one entrance.
well, what we could do is look at the garage and see what it looks like.
Yeah, with your kind of making sense all over the place. Sure, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, if this is a stately home, like it's been sort of described, it has a servant's entrance, for Christ's sake. You know, the garage is probably more of a vehicle shed.
Maybe it was one of the mansions that said like, no, I don't want my servants to go into the house.
No, outside is good enough for them. They can sleep in the garage. I know what. I'll make sure there are extra doors so they don't get caught inside. Yes, it seems like a
So am I
reasonable
hearing a consensus you're going to go check out the garage?
Yeah.
Even if you
Yes.
don't say that. Okay. As you guys make your way around the back, assuming not taking care to hide who you are now, you make your way around the back, you go through the entrance, through the thing that you saw, and you see before you there is a wide, like, probably 4 times the width of a normal garage. You can see that there are 4, like, push-up, roll-up entrances, and you can see that there is a door entrance to one side. The door is slightly ajar. There appears to be no light coming from inside.
I pick up a stone and throw it inside.
Take a perception check.
What, for picking up a stone?
No, for chucking it inside. The result of you chucking it inside is going to be X, Y, or Z. You dumbass.
X, Y, or Z. I want Z. I got 5.
You don't hear anything.
Which X?
You barely even hear it like land once inside the garage. Maybe it echoes, you're not
Seems
sure.
good to me.
So is it really unusual thing that happened there, or?
Nope. He doesn't notice dick all.
You throw a stone into a garage. Quack.
You accidentally picked up one of those like squeaky toys, and as you threw it in, it's like quick.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, roaring sound from the inside.
Seems good to me. There's an exit over there. There's 4 entrances at the front.
Yeah, let's.
Neck.
I'll see if they have prepped it with any sort of trap they had at the door, kind of on the sides to the other doors.
Sure. Take a knowledge for me.
Yeah, 7.
As you approach, you don't spot anything of real note. I mean, you notice that there are definitely warning, alarm sounds, like on some of the entrances and the exits, like especially this one that you're walking up to. And looking around, you can see there are other examples of alarm traps that have been set, but there's no trap here that would harm you.
So Jan points them out and say that at least they have tried to put some motion sensors, if so. I'm
Yes,
not really
they
sure
work as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about traps. It's too dark.
Well, good job. At least we tried. I'm just going to wander on in.
You wander on in.
Yeah, surest way to tell.
Yep. As you wander in, you notice that this place has a couple of clapped out vehicles, rusted to F, wheels deflated, etc., etc., tires deflated, etc., etc. You notice that there are a couple of bikes here also, and a bike with a sidecar. These are both also dilapidated as hell, rusted out. No chance of really salvaging those so much. But other than that, you can just see the usual things you would find inside over some sort of garage. You find a bunch of rusted tools, spanners, screwdrivers. You find kind of like a couple of cans of what you would assume to be oil or bottles, etc. But there doesn't seem to be anything out of place here.
So
Just
John will
garage.
look at Pip and Cameron and slowly scoot down a little bit and pick up a rock and throw it at Rupert.
Because karma and fuck that guy. You hit him.
God damn it! What the hell was that?
Oh, there's a trap inside.
Ah.
And John will walk in.
Apparently it throws small rocks at people. Bit useless trap, but
Yeah.
Fucking traps. Untrustworthy bastards. Just be open with people. God damn it.
definitely, Rupert, definitely. So,
Yes.
do we want to get a small fire started, or should we just huddle together for warmth?
I think the close warmth and try to get out as soon as possible when the sun hit us.
Okay.
Is there any sort of metal type of container?
Oh yeah. Hell
Cool.
yeah.
Can I use that metal container to start a contained fire?
Yes. Yeah. Let's say yeah. You find something you could convert into some sort of fire bucket. Yes. Why not?
Do you just like wrench
Oil
the
drum.
rim off a wheel? Just put it on the
Oil
floor.
drum.
Little fire
Fire
pit.
pit.
Yeah. Either there is something suitable for your purpose, or you create one suitable to your purpose. There's the tools here to do all that sort of stuff. So yes.
Cool. In which case, I will start a fire to keep people warm, and probably start to cook some of the food that we have.
Good plan. Okay. Does anyone want to do anything, say anything, check anything out before we move on to the morning?
Shut the door.
I will take that as a thing you do. It's the most difficult. No, it's you close the door.
Not the
It's
shutter
not-
doors, the actual
Yeah,
door.
I assumed the other doors aren't they aren't open. They're closed. But yeah,
You closed them anyway.
you.
Can I just ask what state the roof's in?
It appears to be mostly intact still.
Excellent.
The state
So we're
Rupert
going to
is
shut
in.
ourselves in a pitch black place with no
Well,
aeration.
we've got a light.
Is...
Have a fire, creating smoke in an enclosed space. If we close the door, we won't be able to see in the morning. Like, oh, we'll get up in the morning. I have no idea when the morning is.
It's carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Just laying there.
It's
dying
good
in
for
my
you.
old rooms.
They can't see in either, so I mean, it's a win.
Anyway, yeah. Rupert's just going to, like, get out his little lolly stick grave markers and, say his evening prayers.
You feel like maybe you're connecting with something, but that could just be your imagination.
Yeah. Let's face it. I mean,
Still up.
no, I'm totally the mouth of God.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
Still
you're
high
praying.
into it.
You're securing the lair, so to speak. Lady Pip is cooking. What is John up to?
John will probably try to make the same sort of arrangement and be like, yeah, that was kind of smart. And he will put up any sort of things that will make noise if opened, or probably anything that is like small, thin sheets of plastic, metal, or anything. Have that on the ground and some dirt on top. It'll probably make them slip, or motions if they walk upon it, and have that as like a place on the outside.
Okay. I'm gonna say you can do that because you have the time. You're not trying to do this quickly. You have the time to do all this whilst food's being prepped and people are securing the lair, so to speak. Yeah, you managed to set up some more of these little alarm traps. Nice. Is anyone doing watches? Are you all just going to go to sleep? It is quite late at night now. You're all feeling the burn of needing to sleep. But if you needed to keep going, you could. But sleep would be appropriate here. Are you guys keeping watches? Are you just going to be like, nah, fuck it, we'll rely on the traps and go to sleep? Or
We should still probably have watches.
Yeah, I think so.
So if John would be up for a couple of hours, let's say 3 or 4 hours, and then wake Pip up. I think she's the one who could probably sustain and have a good stamina.
okay.
Going forth.
All right, so you're going to take 3 or 4 hours. Lady Pip going to take 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, it's only you two that needs to do watches then, because I'm not going to make you do like 16 hours of sleep, because that's stupid. Okay, John, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Right. I still have a legendary point, I think.
That's fine, yeah. I'll believe you.
Yeah, got that underneath. 13.
You don't hear anything really significant at this point in the night. You notice occasionally that the lights inside the house seem to be moving. You see one flicker on upstairs, but nobody seems to be. Other than that, you don't really spot anything else. Yeah, you're pretty good. Lady Pip.
So John will probably wake her up and relay the information, and he will lay down so that he'll kind of caress the rifle, and at the very night he will maybe pat it a little bit. And
Your rifle is your wife, isn't it?
It's his rifle.
That's not.
It's called Sunset for a reason.
That's not where I was going with that analogy, but I'm glad that's what you guys voiced. Okay, cool.
Dirty mind, dirty mind.
You guys fucking started this shit, man. Okay.
No, we didn't. Your mind did.
You find time to caress your rifle.
Yes.
No,
He's there in the dark, cocking his
just
rifle.
You
a little
spend
bit of a
time
love
caressing
tap,
your
not
rifle.
caress.
You give it a love tap, whatever you kids call it these days before you go to bed. You give it one of those.
Well, I don't know what you called it back in your days when it was black and white outside, and
Dude, I'm like 10 years younger than you.
yeah, but still, what do you call it these days?
What we young'uns call it these days is word I'm not going to repeat right now.
Rifle.
Yeah, I saw what you did with that pen. So okay.
Sure. All I can say, if that's what I was doing, ow. Lady Pip, can I get you to make a possession roll, please? Yep. Let's move on.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to use one of my legendary points for that, because I rolled a 1. That's better. Crit.
Just a little bit better. A little bit.
The opposite side.
With the crits. Okay. With the crits, what are you looking at? Are you looking at the house, the surroundings, the people inside the garage? What are you looking at in particular?
keeping an eye on anyone leaving the house.
Okay. In the kind of like pre-dawn light, that kind of the moment when it's actually the hardest to stay awake, when it's the hardest to see anything, you see that the back door creaks open just a touch, and then you see a couple of small figures sneaking out.
Shoot them in the face. They're not kids.
Not shooting children.
Yeah, that's my job. So okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to leave these guys to like die. But I am going to try and sneak a little bit closer to see if I can find out whether they are sneaking towards us. Or whether they are trying to escape, because I have my suspicions. But these guys are not great.
You see these... Are you... okay, first of all, take a sneak check. Oh my god, guys, you're the worst in chat. The worst.
No, don't look at the chat. That's not a GM's responsibility.
A 15. You being the sneakiest post-gen to ever exist in the entirety of the world. Was that another 12? Or do you literally have a +5 in sneak?
No, I have a +5 in sneak.
Holy shit. Okay. You...
As a post-gen.
As a post-gen. You are the sneakiest post-gen known to fucking nature. You sneak your way out of this garage. You find your way kind of like across like the back, sort of across into like the side, where you can look through and see these two small figures approaching. As they approach, you can see them looking back. You can hear like commotion inside the house, and you see them break into a sprint. And you see them running towards the garage. And as they get closer and closer, you realise that these are two small children. They're probably about... I say small children, I'll rephrase that. They seem to be pretty young teenagers. They're like 11, 12, 13 at the most. They seem to be wearing threadbare clothes. They look pale. They look very malnourished.
Okay, so I'm still traumatized from John sending this poor child to her death last time. And so I'm not going to let this happen again.
You're not letting them get to John because John will just send them back to their death. Like,
no, John is just going to throw them through the door and let whatever happens happen. Just not near him. So I'm going to pick
Let them in the garage. There's a priest in there.
Under each arm. I am going to, without their consent, but never mind. But it'll be fine eventually. And I am going to race towards the garage and be very loud because clearly they're awake anyway, and yell at these guys. You need to wake up. You need to get up now. Come on, quick, look, we have these children. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but never mind. But for now, grab your things and run.
So let me get this straight. As you see these small children running towards the garage and you hear movement inside the house, you basically run, pick up one child under each arm, these kind of like young teenagers, and you start running towards the garage yelling, "Run! Cheese it, lads!" I'm gonna say it's not difficult for you guys to hear her bellow this, and you all wake up.
So John is gonna look out and go like, What are you doing?
You killed the last one and you're not going to kill these ones.
You have kids! Muzzle tough!
Return the kids! Give them back!
I'm not giving them back.
Why are they running away?
Well, they're clearly scared. They're clearly scared and we have to help them.
They're probably just curious of who we are, but give them back!
No,
Can't
they
nick
were running.
children!
You're not nicking children. They were running. They were escaping. They need our help.
Have you asked them? Have you asked them if they're escaping?
No.
They might just be coming over to see new people that they've never seen before.
These children look terrified.
On that note, Rupert will emerge from the darkness.
Oh, God.
Crucifix aloft. The filthy, rotten man with the big, shiny, like curly moustache.
Oh my God.
I want to know your inner thoughts about God now.
Come on.
Worry not, children. for I will keep you safe. Now, child, tell us, what are you doing out here?
I need you to make the mother or charisma rolls. Like some terrifying beast that steps out of the shadows with skin slopping off.
Like a
and
terrifying
crucifix
beast that steps from the
rock.
shadows and earnestly asks if children are okay.
Yes.
What happening?
What? Some kind of charisma roll? That would be some kind of 10.
Oh, it's not.
Unfortunately, I'm not lying about anything. Then it would have been like a fucking millions, but hey.
Could you argue and manipulate charisma for me?
I am being as kind and nice as I can be. I am trying to speak in a low voice, slowly, in a calm manner. He just doesn't have a particularly calming
Then
voice.
I will take it.
Okay. In that case, it is a 15.
The children stop looking completely terrified. They look momentarily like gasp out, like, what the fuck is that? And then they're more like, oh, that's what that is. And the children stop like struggling in Lady Pip's arms. They're still being like held aloft off the ground, and they're kind of looking at you. And one of them says, "We were escaping, sir. Please don't make us go back."
Escaping what, child?
They,
What's happening in there?
please, can we just get away?
Where did you come from, dear?
We came from a place that's really far from here. It's
Do you know what it's called?
we call it Stoke.
Not sure we can get you that far, dear. But we can certainly get you further away from these people, and maybe find you somewhere safe who can get you home.
You see the two kids just like nod their head in affirmation. Please, before they come, we think the others gave us enough time, but they'll know we're missing soon. Please.
The others? How many others?
There's only us two kids, me and my sister, but there's at least like 15, maybe 20 adults, and there were big people with big weapons and guns, and please, before they come and find us, please.
I'm not sure we can help the adults, but I'm sure we can maybe get you somewhere safe. Somebody else who might be able to move you on to back to home.
How many people are in there with guns and weapons?
There was at least 10 of them.
10 with weapons.
Mhm. Please, if you can get us, there's a place that some of the other slaves mentioned. They said it's a place called Chester. They said that maybe someone there can help us, or one chest. I don't remember.
I'll leave it to you, Pip. Do you want to take these two with us? Otherwise, we'll be going.
Yes, absolutely. You're not sending another child through a doorway you don't know anybody is over the other side. You are not sending another child to its death.
What? No, please don't kill us.
No, it's fine. We're not going to kill you. I'm just telling him that he's not going to kill you.
I only kill people yay high and kind of make it a little bit taller than they are.
Oh my god. Oh wow.
Ye must be this tall to slay.
Yes.
You see them, you feel them tremble under your arms as they look at John, this, to the world, generally a nice looking older chap, just like you seem to become very terrified of him. You can just
Worry not, children.
You can just get us a little bit here and we'll find our own way.
Okay, so
I'm
let's.
going to go back into the garage and fetch them some of the cooked meat.
Yeah, we should get all of our equipment and leave, not get breakfast.
Yeah.
It's to go.
Yeah, I'm going to give them some food. If they
John
need to
will
run,
pick up-
then they should have something to eat.
John pick up the gear, probably himself and Pips, and just motion to the rest to just let's get the F out.
Yeah. And I'm going to point them towards Cameron, who looks a lot less scary than anyone else here.
I'm not scary.
Oh, now just threaten them if they were like 2 inches taller. If they were wearing shoes, you'd kill them.
Yes.
Yeah, but they are not wearing that tall of a shoe now, are they?
Yeah,
So they
Just
are
say-
kind of just, whoo, that's good. We're not this tall at least, so he won't kill us right now.
It's okay, we
Yeah.
won't tell them that Cameron shot his dad. So it's...
What? No,
Cucumber, volley. Just so you remember, I've got sexy if you don't want it as well. No, I do look pretty handsome.
No! God!
Oh.
No, I'm saying I'm very calm and I don't look offensive like I'm going to kill them.
I'm not gonna listen into this one. I'm taking off my earbuds for this one.
Yeah.
That's-
You guys all went to the
Me
wrong
too.
place.
I'm out. See ya.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
mean-
Your
saying
guys'
that
minds are wrong.
you just look like you're nicer.
Yes,
the
that's
rest
what
of
I'm saying.
Let-
Instead of a big
Stop,
woman, a scary, hairy man.
Stop. She had it with looks less scary. Just stop. Before we have to shut down our stream forever and ever. Just stop. Okay.
Yeah.
You point them
So I'm
towards...
going to send them to Cameron because he looks less scary.
Alright, you set the 2 children down. And they go over to Cameron like they've been told. They just like, you see them just holding hands and just like looking at you, just like confused about what the hell to go, just kind of eating these meat on the go.
Oh. Now.
I just gently
I feel
pat
a
both
little
of them on the
upset.
head and say, "Follow me. Keep close."
Alright,
Oh.
where'd you go?
Down the road towards where we need to go. Anyway.
Are you guys just blatantly walking past the house filled with these people that the children claim to be slavers?
I will raise a hand and say, let's make a small little bit of a detour, kind of fanning out from where they were sprinting off from.
From
Yes, my.
Yeah. Well, if we had to walk down the drive to this place, I assume there's a wall or a hedge
Mhm.
or something.
Yes.
We just hop over that and walk
Yeah,
out.
it's not massively high. It's definitely jump
Yeah.
overable. Well, it's definitely boostable with Lady Pip.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Going the
Yeah,
other
okay.
side of the wall.
Rather than like walking around the house, just like stolen merchandise. Hello, children.
So I
You
will
know.
lift everybody over the hedge
Yeah,
and then
and
clamber over.
for your information, probably not call them merchandise.
Probably don't want
Alright.
like that.
So
Yeah, I'm going to give each of the children a little lollipop crucifix as well, like a little like, here you are, you know, we're nice people here, have a thing, I made
gonna-
it.
Also ask them their names.
Also, their grave markers for if they die.
oh wow.
You don't tell them that bit, do you?
No.
No, that's why I didn't use a character voice.
Okay.
I was describing a physical action.
Wow. The children tell you that their names are. The boy tells you that his name is Nick, and that his sister is named Wendy.
Nick and Wendy.
Nick and Wendy. Okay. Right, so
The lot of you get boosted over the wall. The children obviously get boosted over the wall with, I assume, rather than just like chucking them hither and thither. So you all make it over the wall. I need all of you to make sneak checks for me. It is a group check.
that'll be another 15.
God damn it, girl. Post-gen, sneaky as fuck.
That'd be a
Oh no,
seven.
16.
8.
16
13.
17.
and an 8.
8. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Luckily, this is a group check because your post-gen is the sneakiest motherfucker. Every time it looks like you're about to put your foot on something's about to snap, you do whoa! She kind of like grabs you by the back of the neck and you kind of like get lifted over what you're about to snap. And the group of you with the 2 children in tow just make your way away from the scene. The sun is beginning to come up at this point. You've had some rest, you've had some sleep, you are most okay. Even John, who's looking a bit peaky. John, I need you to make a physical endurance for me, please.
And that's the number plus a D10 will be, right?
D12, yeah.
Yes, the D12 straight up.
It's a D12 plus your physical endurance save.
And that is
Your
yeah, there it
endurance.
is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the one at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. And 9?
You're beginning to feel a little bit like your blood is beginning to feel a bit thicker than it did before. Everything's a little bit harder to concentrate. Definitely feeling
Yeah.
a bit not normal, not your normal self. You've had enough sleep for you, but things aren't feeling great.
Mm.
All right.
That's something that the old body will do.
Mhm.
He will, yeah, he will push it into a box and put it in the container of. Let's not talk about that openly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
don't forget he needs to take his antibiotics as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've done that already.
Is Pip going to stop bothering him about his meds? Now!
That's the question. Are you going to bother him? You guys are currently like making your way as sneaky as possible with 2 children in tow. You're
Yeah,
making your way
at the
through the
moment.
woods, surrounded by what the children claim to be slavers.
Yeah.
Now might not be
yes,
the good time.
because, well, equally, if he gets sick, then we are going to have to drag him around with us.
Well, he's not saying he's sick, so
That doesn't mean he isn't.
Well, this really comes down to a point of, is Pip clever enough to realise that this isn't the time to be pestering about his meds?
No, Pip is not. Pip has 1 in intellect.
There we are. The nurse said you have to do this. I don't want to do it. The nurse says you have to do this.
Yes, it is time.
Yes.
Nurse Pip says yes.
Yeah, so you
I-
guys are making your way. If you would like to have the conversation, if you want to give him the drugs, go for it. You
Yeah, I'm
talk
going
to him,
to
I'm not forcing you.
have the pill in my hand and walk up to John. It's time. It's time. You have to take them. The pills. Eat the pills.
yeah, he will take it. And are they in a sprint or walk or?
You guys are probably walking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be a fast walk, but
yeah. He will take it and look at the children. And do you think they are safe with us?
The children. They're certainly safe with us than they were back there. Now take your pills.
You already took it.
No, you have not. Now show me that you've taken the pill.
Yeah, you probably have taken the pill too.
Okay, lift your tongue. You're not hiding it. I want to know that you've taken the pills.
I never hidden one pill in my whole life.
Now, do we know that that's neither of you? You're not telling the truth at all there. Now, take the pill in front of me.
Then I need like another pill.
No, the one that I handed you that you did not take. And you started asking me questions. Now take the pills.
Yeah, I've taken this pill.
That
Yeah,
pill in
so-
your hand. Put it in your mouth and swallow it.
Oh, you wanted me to eat it too.
Yes.
You didn't really say that much.
I'm not carrying you around if you get sick.
I hope so. Otherwise, rude.
No, otherwise buried. Take the pill.
I mean, if I'm sick, you'll be like, no, let's leave him. Jeez,
Yes.
for all I've done for you. Yeah, here it comes. So we'll take the pill and be grumpy about it.
I need to know, are you actually taking the pill or are you going to try and palm it?
Nah, he's probably gonna take the pill for a couple of times now.
Okay, good to know. Alright. Good to know. Because I'm tracking all this shit, so I need to know. Okay, excellent. Alright, you get forced to have your medicine like a 3-year-old child.
Yeah, but this is the first time in like several days. So.
Yes.
Oh.
The steady decline that you've been feeling is... It may or may not be getting better soon, but you can't tell as it's only a single dose that you've been forced to have. Okay. Good to know. Alright, you guys make your way along these roads. You guys probably travel for nearly a day when you see the outline of OK Chester and Shit Chester on the horizon. And that's where we're going to hold out at the end of this session, because I'm aware that Skag needs to jump off and get ready for his next game. So, yes, with OK Chester and Shit Chester rendering in the future, we will call a halt there. Let's do outros quick because we should, and let's make it snappy. So, Skag.
Yes, Skageth on my channel in like a half hour. I'll do Against the Giants D&D 5e. Monday's Rage Day.
Monday's Rage Day.
T-shirt is out.
Spam a link in the chat. Did you enjoy today's game?
Yeah, it was fun. I got to shoot people. What not to be?
You shot a woman in the face. An old, defenseless woman in the face.
Easier to aim, easier to shoot.
Wonderful. All right, let's get around our Spanners.
Yeah, so I've been Spanners. I love playing Pip. She's so much fun. And has like no charisma, no intellect, and just runs around shouting at people. It's lovely. Yeah, so no, that was really fun. And we didn't kill any more children.
I am proud of you all. You didn't also return the children back into maybe slavery.
Well, no, exactly. I didn't sell anyone either this time. Which I see as bonus. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter or as Spanners_BTP, and you can also find me over on Twitch under I am Spanners, doing some Unity development live and interesting.
Cool. I would add that into your shout on our thing, because currently I just have the I_am_Spanners and the Spanners_BTP on the Twitter, but I'll add your Twitch one too. Remind me after. Send me a Discord message and I'll remember to do it. Cool. All right. Next one round is Terracon.
What?
Fuck. I'm actually distracted because not at that perfect time I saw my husband walking past in a bright purple.
Dog.
Yeah, you've done it a few times.
Followed by the
Bad
dog.
dog.
Just go like that.
Yeah, it's not the
There we go.
first time.
Sorry.
And again.
Yes. A large man in a dressing gown strolls past. Random
Basically
encounter.
the drinking game.
New
Every
drinking
time.
game.
Yeah, new drinking
Yeah, I
game.
had fun. I enjoyed what I did,
High fives.
what we did. We saved some slaves. If there weren't so many people there, I'm pretty sure Cameron would want to save the rest of the slaves as well, but there were way too many.
Really?
Yeah.
You suggested killing everyone we met today.
That's yes,
So it was it.
You didn't suggest killing the children.
I suggested
you
killing
did.
people that ate people.
He literally suggested killing the children.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I never suggested that.
Wow.
I can't remember who said shoot them in the face. But I didn't think it was Cameron.
No, I did not.
Whoa.
Cameron does not like slavers.
This is so good. This is so good. I assume we can't find you anywhere other than here and on Sunday nights.
Yeah, Sundays and Mondays, that's about it.
Wicked. And almost last.
Tis myself. I was thirsty. You can find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP. You can find me on bloodthirstpubs.co.uk. You can find me here on Mondays and Fridays. And if you look really hard, you might find me elsewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so mysterious.
Yeah, I exist in places upon the internet where people can find me. It's all good. So,
Any comment?
and it
about
was
the
great.
game?
I got to
Thank
fall
you.
asleep, which was good. Especially because I just chugged an energy drink and sitting still was really difficult. Yeah, I love playing Rupert to this day. I can never quite remember what his voice was last time when I come back to doing it. Hey, it's the bearded guy in the dressing gown again.
Drink.
Oh,
That's another energy drink.
Might as well.
God, it's 10:30. What are you doing?
Yeah. So yeah, it was always great to be left behind when the charisma character's needed. It's always good to have to negotiate with terrified children who are being kidnapped from slavers. We kidnapped children from slavers. That's an excellent sentence.
That's a
to
good
say.
thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes us
Yeah.
rescuing them.
We kind of did the opposite when we played last time, when Spanners and I actually sold people back to slavers, kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
So-
you know, when Spanners liberated the women from the oppressive forced marriages and then sold them to their enemies.
Oh, well, they were a pain.
They were a
So
pain.
needy.
They were a pain.
They were delightful people.
They were not delightful people. They were awful.
One was a bit size obsessed, but the other one was nice.
They were just whingy. So they deserve to be sold.
Aw.
And you heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
If you're whingy, you get sold into
Yeah.
slavery.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's apparently
Yeah,
where we draw the line. Like, if you're big and strong, we're good. But if you whinge about it, fuck you, man. Go be slavery.
Apparently, nagging women from arranged marriages are okay to sell as slaves, according to Spanners.
Yep.
Heard it here first.
Mm.
Okay. On that rather odd note,
Oh, it's my CRB gone.
where's that gone? You can find me on Twitter at blood_BTP or bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. You can usually find me on Skag's channel probably 4 nights out of 7. You'll find me here pretty much every single time that we stream. Next time I'm online is actually tomorrow on Skag's game, where I think we're doing Rollmaster or something else. I don't really... I'm just going to turn up there and play a game and things will be cool. Other than that, check out my Twitter for all the other stupid amount of shit that I do. It's the
And the
easiest
new
way to keep
stuff.
up with stuff going on. What new stuff? What are you on about?
Yeah, the water deep.
Yeah, I was just, oh god, Jesus, man, I was about to get onto it. Holy crap, man. Just... Whatever, I'm not doing it now. No, I am. On Sunday nights, you will find 3 of us here on this channel, where we are playing Bellum and Ruse, Waterdeep Courts, where we are the Ruse crew. We are the hidden blade to the game that I GM on Skag's channel straight afterwards, set in the same world, called Bellum. And they are basically the punchy people who have little to no intellect, and most of them are barbarians of some sort. That's a really fun game. Check out, that's on both channels there, and is ridiculously good fun. I think that's probably everything I need to shout out into the void, other than to thank Corone for the intro video. I can't make the credits one work today because my OBS was stupid and I had to wipe everything, and I only just about got this done in time. So I need to thank him for the intro and the outro videos, which I will totally put on the YouTube video, and to thank Kevin MacLeod for all the free ass music. Is there anything anybody would like to shout into the void before I officially shut down for the night?
Dead people tell no lies.
Don't sell
Baylor's
kids
Blades
into
maybe
slavery.
Thursday?
Go on, Spanners. Everyone's yelled something out. Go for it.
Views expressed may not be my own. Don't sell people. It's bad.
That's a good disclaimer.
That's an excellent disclaimer. And on that amazing note, we will say good night. Time at the bar, bitches, and we'll see you another time. Good night.